India is producing more solar and wind power than it can use, and a good chunk of it is getting thrown away. What if EVs were powered using the power that is thrown away every day? In today's episode, I'm going to talk about something called as grid curtailment. And it's going to be another exciting episode. Please watch till the end. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Green and Clean YouTube channel. My name is Vittal. Imagine you are hosting a birthday party and you estimate about 100 people will arrive and you prepare food for 100 people, but only 70 of them turn up and you waste nearly 30 people's food in your party. You either waste it or you give it to a charity or something like that, but it is excess food that is getting wasted. Solar curtailment is something very similar. Every day in India, solar and wind power is generated, and during certain times of the day, it is produced more than the demand, and it has to be curtailed because of mismatch in the demand and supply, or it could be because grid cannot handle it, capacity issues, etc., etc. And a good amount of power every day is getting wasted or curtailed. The percentage power that is curtailed could go anywhere between 8% to 50%. Yeah, 8% to 50%. So such huge is the wastage every day. Rajasthan has the highest rate, close to 50% during certain times of the day, during certain seasons of the year. So it's up to 50%, followed by Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, and Gujarat. So most of these states have excess power generation capacity than the demand. Remember, it is the power generation capacity and not the storage capacity or the ability for the grid to use this generated power effectively. And to put that into number, by 2030, India could have as much as 12.4 terawatt hour of power being curtailed or wasted. So that's 12.4 terawatt hour of power that is getting wasted. And this is again on an everyday basis, it could be anywhere between 8% to 50%. People talk a lot about where will we get the power to power all the EVs. If the EV adoption increases, where is the power? So the answer is there if you really look at it. Let's look at what does this excess power or the wasted power mean in terms of EV usage. So the estimate is by 2030, 12.4 terawatt hour of electricity that will be curtailed. Now, the EV's efficiency, 1 kilowatt hour roughly gives about 6 to 7 kilometers of range. And if you convert this excess power into the range, so this excess power can drive 82,700 kilometers for 1 million EVs. That is 10 lakh EVs running for 82,700 kilometers. That is the amount of wastage that occurs today. Now let's look at differently. If an average EV is run 30 kilometers a day, by the way, that's very close to the national average of a car. So if an average EV runs about 30 kilometers a day, then that would mean this much excess power or the wasted power can power 75 lakh EVs every day for the next so many years. So that's 75 lakh EVs. And how many EV? I'm talking only about cars, by the way. So 75 lakh cars can be supported with this excess power. And how many EVs do we have currently? EV cars? It's probably around 20 lakhs when I last checked. So already the amount of power that is wasted due to grid curtailment can meet three times the existing demand of EVs. The actual solution to this problem is to store the excess capacity during the peak hours or during the peak days and distribute it when there is demand. And most of this solar curtailment or the power curtailment happens between the time 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's when the sun is at its peak. So 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the golden hour where a lot of power gets wasted. And ideally, the electricity grid should be procuring batteries to store this power and then redistribute it when there is a demand. But if you look at this thing differently, if you have an EV, you already have a way, you have a battery that can consume this excess power. So if you charge your EV between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m., probably you will help the grid in avoiding these excess rates of curtailment. So this figure I am talking only in India context. So the curtailment rate is anywhere between 8 to 50% in India. But this is not just for India alone. It's a problem everywhere, even though not as much as a problem in India. For example, if you look at China, about 6% curtailment happens in China. In Germany, it's 3%. Europe is 10%. United States of America is around 11%. So there is excess energy that gets wasted across the globe every day. And if all this energy can go into a battery, and preferably an EV battery, then we can have more and more EV adoption. And that should give some answer to people who always question where is the power to power the EVs. So, for some reason, all these green initiatives, whether it is EV, solar, or wind, is not welcomed by a whole lot of people. I don't know why, but if you look at such initiatives and such things that are possible with these initiatives, then this effort to go green can go to the next level. And the reason for making such episode and covering a whole lot of such topics in this episode is just to convince people that if there is a will, there will be an EV, there could be a good green initiative, and we will reduce a lot of pollution and breathe clean air. Well, that's it for today's episode. I hope you have liked it. Do let me know your opinion on this topic in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching this episode. See you again next time.